the heart and soul behind every business. Stories. Welcome to Business Story of the Week, hosted by me, Joshua Laurie. From setbacks to comebacks, from tragedies to triumphs, we inspire entrepreneurs through conversations that matter. Witness the magic that turns dreams into reality. Whether it's your career, business, or life, your success is always one story away. This is Business Story of the Week.
Hey, this is Jeanius, and you are tuning in to Business Story of the Week.
Fantastic, or should I say fabulous, the fabulous Jeanius, the fabulous Jean Duggar. She's our guest for today. She's going to be joining us for this episode. And of course, my name is Joshua. I am your host. Every week, every day, every episode, we start off with a question. And the question that we're starting off for today is, how can embracing positivity be the secret weapon to transform not just your personal life, but also your professional life? Well, Jeanius is the perfect guest to answer that question for us today. Jean Duggar is the founder of Jeanius Motivation and Coaching LLC, where she empowers individuals to unlock their potential through motivational speaking, life coaching, and hypnotherapy. With over 20 years of experience in finance and accounting, Jean leverages her leadership skills and personal experiences to help others build confidence, overcome obstacles, and find focus in life. Known for her compassionate and empowering approach, and of course her fabulous look and fabulous hair, inspires people to transform their lives by embracing positivity and accountability. And already I'm feeling all that positivity energy here today. Jean, thank you for coming on the show. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me, Joshua. It is a pleasure to be here.
Absolutely. Jean, I always start this show with an origins type of question. What was a young Jean Duggar like? Was she always fabulous? Was she always positive? Did she always have like a banging hair, a banging fro? And what did the young Jean Duggar think about overcoming obstacles?
It's definitely a stark difference. If you run into someone that knew me from way before, they probably didn't see this Jean. They seen happy Jean all the time. But I would say that it was kind of the facade. So I always want to be happy. I always want to share a smile. But I definitely kind of like the Hulk, or kind of get angry, or, not really enjoy whatever was happening. And I would let that bring me down. But I always was surrounded by great friends, great family, great parents. I can't say enough about them. That supported me through my entire life. But the previous Jean was always, hey, if I think that the glass is half empty, then I don't ever have to be let down. And that's kind of the way that I felt like I was protecting myself through my life. I've been through a lot, Joshua. I've been through a lot. And I never thought that I had a story, which a lot of people feel that way. And I tell you what, the day I woke up and realized that I have a story, it's great, and it may help other people to know the struggles that I went through that I thought were just little bitty things. These are everyday things. I have learned, and I still learn today, that those stories are what help people get through. And absolutely. Positive helps you get through them just a wee bit faster.
Just a wee bit faster. And of course, stories. I love that you touched up. I touched up on a few things there that I want to highlight. First off, stories are so important. We love stories on the show. Is literally the second name of the show.
Yes.
Stories form the fabric of society. Society, humanity, we all exist because of our stories, and that's how we live on. That's how we also heal in the way we tell our stories. But Jean, you also talk about positivity. But you talked about the previous Jean when it came to being happy, being positive. But positivity and being happy, they don't always go together. It doesn't always mean just because you're fun or you're happy doesn't mean you're positive. And I want to delve into that a little bit more, because when it comes to positivity, there's what we call toxic positivity. When everything we're just feeling like everything's okay, everything's fine, everything's positive, just positive, positive, positive. That couldn't possibly be healthy. Jean, how do you separate that? How do you define a healthy type of positivity where, sure, you are happy, but that doesn't mean like, you're not ignoring the reality of life? How do you keep that balance when it comes to positivity, which is the center of what you do?
Actually, that was a phenomenal question because that is the first thing I get faced with when people meet me. They say, "Oh, I can't be positive all the time." And it's not really about the facade, the makeup, the look, pretending to be happy. That's what I used to do. And I did it to me more for other people than I did even for myself. But being positive and having a positive attitude doesn't mean that you're not going to have down days, down moments, and people coming at you from every direction trying to test that positivity. What it means is just knowing that, you know, something happens to you, and things happen to us all the time. And we get faced with adversity, we get faced with conflict. There's things at work, there's things in your personal life. There's just a lot that goes on. When I get up in the morning, I face every day with as much gratitude as I can, as much gratitude as I can put out. I just say thank you for all of the little things because we tend to say thank you for houses and cars and things like that. But I
Yeah.
just get really thankful in the morning for the breath that I have to get through. That's where I'm at. I live in today. And then I start thinking, okay, these are the things that I have that someone may not have today, that someone may be struggling with. And if I say thank you for that, it brings this wellness into my soul of just being thankful. And that's where that positive moment comes. So when I get into dealing with my absolute day where I'm going off, because though I'm a business owner, I'm also still an employee of another great company. And there are things that go on in my day to day. And those things that happen, I have to deal with. And every single thing that comes to me, start thinking who and what is it worth for me to be set in this moment? How much time can I spend on my mental health if I'm down and upset versus looking for the response, looking for the solution, knowing that I can work through it if I just take one little step. It doesn't have to be a big step. We tend to think, you see the big hair and the big
Uh,
stuff around. I
uh-huh.
really think small.
I love that.
I think small because that just gives me those bite-sized nuggets. You hear everybody say that. Those bite-sized nuggets that I can take in, figure it out, see how I'm going to work it. And then I'm thankful because I get an opportunity to work on whatever that problem is. And so when someone comes at me and says, oh, yesterday's Wednesday, so it was hump day. You're coming out of Wednesday into Thursday. I'm in Thursday, but it's hump day. And so you hear people say happy hump day, but are they really happy?
Right,
It's like
precisely.
we got to think about what that is. It is the chance, the opportunity to work on something else. Every job that we have is to resolve something. That's what a job is, right? We're resolving something. We're creating happiness or we're taking care of somebody that's ill or we're putting something together. It's a resolution. So be thankful for your resolution. Be thankful for whatever gift, the universe is giving you to work out. So be thankful for that problem because you get to work on the resolution today. So
I
that's what
love
keeps
that.
me positive.
I love that. I love that. Gratitude equals positivity because at the end of the day, how do we see the good things if we're not grateful for what we have? How can we stay positive of the future if we can stay grateful for what we have now? I love that. And of course, you talk about the little bits, like the little bits, breaking down it smaller things. That's what it is really, right? We're breaking down life into smaller bits that we can figure out, that we can, that we can overcome. And what my mentor always tells me, and I try to remember this a lot, is that don't get bummed out that you got problems. You kind of also said this. You don't get bummed out that you said you got problems. Be grateful that you get to have them and you get to have an opportunity to overcome them. What my mentor tells me is that say I get to. don't say I have to, right? So I say that I don't have, like, don't say that, damn, I have to overcome this, hump day again, like I have to get through this day again. Say, get to do it. I get to
Right.
go through this day. I get to figure out this problem, and I get to grow from it. I get to learn from it, and I get to be grateful because, again, not a lot of people get that opportunity. And of course,
Absolutely.
it's one thing to, we're trying to get that. That's it's a practice. Gratitude is a muscle, right? That we're trying to flex every day. And of course, this is what you're teaching today, Gene, and this is what you do with your personal coaching. And I want to ask a little bit about your experience. Of course, you have a background in finance and personal coaching as well. You help individuals find focus and direction. Gene, how did you go about this? How do you go about starting this endeavor? And what was a pivotal moment where you said, like, hey, I think I can help people out. I think I have something in me. I have my stories. What was that pivotal moment for you where you say, I want to help people?
Joshua, people actually pointed it out to me. So I can't take credit for me just finding this thing. Someone had to point it out to me. And that's where the story of Jeanius started at. Yeah, I have a background in banking and finance and collections, but I have spent over 25 years in the medical community, which has really been my transformation. I could tell you the old Jean Duggar that you were asking about would have never saw herself in the medical community at all. And I am so thankful for it. It is my saving grace. I started out working for an awesome surgeon that actually came upon me because I was speaking with some of her patients, and she asked me to come and work for her. And I went to work for her and two other doctors. They were just really great to me. And I told them, I said, hey, I have no other training. None. I've never been in this industry. I come from banking and finance. I don't know anything about this. I'll stick around here for a minute until something better comes. And they really took me in and taught me and really got me to learn. And then the next thing you know, I start traveling with them and speaking to their patients and educating their patients about the things that I knew, which is what brought me to them. Well, as time went on, I remember the doctor. The doctor was Allison Clary and David Bruce and Roxanne Gibson, and they're all awesome. And what happened was Dr. Clary had told me one day, she said, Jean, you connect with people in a different way. She said, I do what I do, and my training and my passion is one thing. She said, but what you do for our patients is really phenomenal. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm doing what I get paid for. And she said, no, you do a little bit more. And so I started staying at her side more. And one day we went to one of our big centers that's here called the Schuster Center. And she was being awarded this huge award. And the person that announced her had to give her background and just really do things that big shows do. And at the end of that show, she said, Jean, she goes, that could be you up there. And I started thinking about the degrees and all the different training that this person had. And she said, no. She said she did it for a check. She goes, you do that because you have a passion for it. She said, and you help people. And the only thing I could think of was, I don't have the training for this. I don't have the degree for this. I don't have the schooling or the background that it takes. But she explained to me that my experience that I'm building, just talking to people and helping people, is where it's at. And then my husband, he would come at me all the time and be like, Jean, these people need you. I'm like, for what? The doctor puts the people in front of me. He said, no, you grew that. You grew that. There's 10 people, there's 20 people, and now, there's over 100 people. And right before COVID, I just woke up. I started taking better care of my body and really trying to work on myself and realizing that this world is changing. And then I said, you know what? I said, I'm going to get back into motivational speaking. I said, I was speaking and educating before and facilitating and hosting, but I was doing it for a different reason. But so many people would come to me and say, you helped me so much. You helped me so much. And I'm like, what did I help you with? Can you tell me what I helped you with?
Mhm.
Just your positive attitude. And I was like, really? Really? So it took me see when I was working in another surgical space because the surgeon that started me out, she passed away. And she took one of her last moments within a couple of days of her passing away to call me. That moment will stay in my life forever because out of the 10 years that we spent together, that phone call, she said, Jean, you're always going to land on your feet. Don't ever stop doing what you do. And the only thing I could think about in that moment was her passing away, and she knew she didn't have very much time left. So I could only think of that then. My husband just kept telling me, she's absolutely right. You need to keep doing what you do. But I was so hurt, Joshua. I was so hurt that she was passing on and just kind of left it. But right before COVID, I met another great person in the medical space named Beth. And she was like, who are you? Why do you do what you do? I told her one day, I said, I'm getting back into it. I said, I'm going to start speaking. I'm going to start coaching. I'm going to do this. And then, and she's like, yeah, you should go for it. And she also had just a great story, but she wanted to come in and talk to me. Because you need to be at the front of this place so people can see you when they come in so we can start off with a great day because that's what it's about. That's when I came home and told my husband, I said, I'm starting my company. I said, I don't know what it will be called. My husband always says JD motivates me, which is an email he created a long time ago for me when I had to leave a part of the medical space. And it really was like, yeah, I said, that sounds good. But I was listening to Les Brown one day. And as I'm listening, I kind of got my head in my hands, and he is just like, you've got genius in you. And I said, yeah, I sure do. My name is Jean. I do have genius in me kind of automatically. Yes, and then I was like, gosh, just I have genius of myself, genius of finally understanding part of who I am because we have to figure it out every day. And, that figuring it out was my genius moment. So that's where Genius motivation started.
That's just what a fascinating story. I love that story. I mean, like he said, people sometimes see us better than we see ourselves, right? And then they saw that in you. They saw that genius in you right away. And now you're helping people find their own genius as well. But Jean, what do you think that was? Because people were seeing you, they looking at you like you're doing more for patients. And people would approach you, you helped me so much. It's your positive attitude. But what do you think it was? What was that extra factor that you were always doing, that you were always putting forward? What was it that you think, or what was it that they say that they usually say that they see in you? What was that extra thing that you do where your genius shined the most?
I think that the reason people gravitate to me is because I am okay with being who I am. I'm okay with being loud. I'm okay with not having the best story. I'm okay with not being, the star of the room. I'm okay with lifting you up. I love that, just making somebody else smile, definitely making somebody laugh. I had to learn to laugh at myself. I used to. So I was over 400 pounds at one point. I had weight loss surgery years ago, and it helped me because I had been through that wheel of, just failing.
Yes.
I'd lose 100 pounds, regain it, just trying, failing. And I was never afraid to talk about that. But the reason I wasn't afraid to talk about it is because I want somebody to help me.
Yes,
I want somebody to help me. And when I meet people, it doesn't matter where they are in life. Yes, should you align yourself with the person that is maybe where you want to be or doing what you want to do? Yes, I 100% believe that. But I also believe that when you listen and you hear what somebody else has gone through, in your head, you can either figure out what you can do to help that person if they're asking for help. You can learn from that person. We can all learn from each other. And I think that that's why people come to me, because I don't say that my life has been great from the giddy up. I talk about how much I love my family and love my parents, and I've lost both of my parents almost at the same time. And I've lost 2 sisters, and I still have 4 fabulous sisters, and, just great family around me, but we've had struggles. And those struggles have built us to who we are. And that's how it is for everyone. We see the face. I see Joshua, but there's such a big story behind him that I don't see until I talk to him. And I think that's why people come to me, because I want to know more about you. What makes you you?
Yes.
And
Yes.
some of the things that people see as I failed, or, I didn't get through that, or it was just really a trying time, I'm usually just sitting there like, what? Like, you made it through that? Because you're here telling me about it. And then they start to see, I am a warrior. I am a badass, and love that moment, because you almost feel the whole room turn. Because sometimes if there's not somebody there to tell you that your story makes you phenomenal, and there's millions and millions and millions and millions of stories out there, but embracing somebody's story may save them that day. It might change their life. So I always encourage people, listen. When we talk to each other, humans nowadays, especially since COVID, and we're all on electronics and things like that. And I think those things are great because, we have to learn, we have to change, we have to build, we have to grow, we have to innovate. I understand that. But listen, and that's really where it is. Too many times I see people come together, and it is my pet peeve, is people talking over top of each other. Stop for a minute. Listen. Hear what somebody has to say. I even encourage that in my leaders. I've managed directors. I've been a director. I've been a manager. I'm a practice manager currently of a awesome behavioral health, facility that's just phenomenal, that helps people every day. But when I go out as Jeanius and I speak to a crowd of CEOs and VPs and presidents and all of that, the first thing I tell them is you have to listen. You have to listen to your people, because they're the ones down in it, doing it every single day. And then be real with them. Let them know, you know what? You've fallen before, but you got back up. And that's going to build you great leaders, because you're going to allow them to see who you are. And I think when you allow people to see who you really are, that just makes them gravitate to you that much more. And I really think that's how it's been built for me.
It takes heart. It takes a lot of heart. It takes something else to just listen to people. And I think not everyone has that skill, but it can be learned. Everyone can learn that. I feel like it's something that we need to practice. It's something that we need to put a little bit more attention into. It's the best way to connect. It's the best way to learn about people, basically, to make them feel heard. Everyone wants to feel heard. Everyone wants to feel like they're valued, they're seen, and allowing yourself to be who you are in the presence of that person, of those people, of that individual, allows them to be themselves as well. But that's just the first step. And what you're telling me, Gene, also is to uncover their genius. Showing your genius allows them to uncover their genius. But for you to even go deeper than that, you have to listen. We have to listen. What is their genius? What is your story? What makes you who you are? I love this. I love it, Gene. It all resonates with me. It all resonates with our audience and listeners. And of course, you came up with the name now. You zeroed into the new name, Jeanius Motivation Com, to give our audience and listeners here a little bit of a sneak peek of what you do with Jeanius Motivation. You talk about leadership, you talk about hypnotherapy, you talk about personal coaching, personal growth. How do you help people shift from a reactive mindset to one of accountability? So I understand that these are one of your topics, one of the things that you talk about, a Jeanius Motivation. How do you motivate people to shift from that mindset, from being reactive to being accountable?
That is an awesome question. So where you see me now, I'm actually at home in my Jeanius corner at home. So
All right.
my office is Jeanius Studios. This is just the Jeanius corner.
Wow.
And when I'm in the studio with my clients, so what I do is During the week, during the evening, mostly is when I see clients one-on-one. That's just me and my client digging through their life. And that part connects so well with me because they come in expecting to help someone make a change. And they usually kind of come in with the question of, understand I signed up for coaching, but what did I really sign up for? And usually that first visit is a lot of unboxing. Christmas morning, what's in the package? What's behind the wrapping paper? And sometimes we come in, and I always understand that first meeting might be them, or it might be who they want everyone else to believe who they are. But is it really who they are? And are they comfortable with who they are? So the first meeting with Jeanius is really about me allowing you to speak, me allowing you to say why you believe you're here with me.
Yes.
And what I do is ask them, what do you really want? What do you really want? And I ask them over and over again, because as simple as that question sounds, someone asked it to me and I couldn't answer it, really couldn't put my finger on it. When someone told me to let go of all of those limitations and say, Jean, if there's no obstacles in the way, what do you really want? And that's what I started asking my clients, like, what do you really want? But after they figure that out, after they start talking about it, after I help them remove all of the limitations, then we start the work. Then we start saying, what do you feel like is in the way? And usually what's in our way is us.
Absolutely. Always.
So just start to help removing all of that tissue paper in that beautiful gift wrap box. And so we can get to the prize inside. But once we uncover that, and I help them understand that, I understand that you want it, but you need to know that you deserve it. You deserve it. It's what you want. Sometimes we have to go back to that moment, because when they leave me that first session, through that first session, there might be some tears, there might be some revelation. There's a lot of transformation in that first visit. But it feels awesome. But then comes the work, and that's where the accountability comes in. And I always take that first visit and say, this is where we started. This is what you wanted. And this was the reason you wanted. And we have to keep focus of that. I know a lot of people do affirmations, and we're writing down what we want and who we are. And I think that that's great. I do that all the time. I change it all the time. I write notes to myself. I do recordings to myself, because I want to keep myself accountable to what I want to do. He's showing someone, hey, this isn't someone else's dream. This is your dream. This is what you want. And that's absolutely fine, because sometimes people don't feel deserving. So I have to show them. That's my job. Let me show you where you're deserving. Let me show you where you've put previous work in. Let me show you where you got close to this before, but because of what someone else put into you, maybe you backed off of it. But I'm going to help you come along the way. So I work really hard to be with my clients in the moment, meet them where they are. But then when we get to doing that work and that doubt starts to set in, or the I can't do it today, or I'm not really sure, or the imposter syndrome, everything that comes up, including the kitchen sink, when all of that comes up, I take them back to moment one, where I show them, not only do you deserve and you want this, but we're going to get it. It's going to be hard work. I'm not promising this easy road or whatever, because a lot of us that want this great thing, it takes work. It takes work. So it's not going to be, the click and lock and boom, it's there. It's going to take work. But if it's what you really want and that passion is burning in you, then that's just going to be the fuel to get us there. And so Jeanius's job is to help you remember what your mission is, help you keep that tank full, but have you be accountable to, hey, if Jeanius steps back, you still got it. It's not about me, it's about you. So that's where my moments come in to help people. And the hypnotherapy on top of it, not every single client does the hypnotherapy. So I can do one-off hypnotherapy, whether it's for weight loss or to stop smoking, to take that edge off of anxiety.
Yes.
I can help with that because hypnotherapy is just connecting you with your subconscious mind of what you really want and how you really want to do it. But the coaching provides the transformation. The coaching provides the transformation. That one-on-one, I'm going to hold your hand in the beginning, but then I'm going to let go. You know, I'm going to let go, just like on the bike. I'm going to show you how to pedal, but as we go along, you're going to be able to just get it on your own, but you'll have that vehicle to get back to me if you want to, because I'm never going to just let you go or be out of sight. And my clients do. They stick with me. They get going. They have these great stories and these great
Yes.
accomplishments. And we celebrate. I mean, we celebrate everything. You had a good conversation with someone. You got through something. You worked through that. You put that work in. I've just got nothing but love for you. And I show that to them all the time because I want them to know if for any reason you feel like no one else loves you, Jeanius loves you. Jeanius loves
Genius
you.
loves you. And of course, it starts with who you are, what you value, what your in order to uncover your genius. And of course, if these things resonate with you, if Jean herself resonates with everything she's talking about, resonating with you, go check out Jeanius motivation.com. Jean, I absolutely love it. I love the genius in all of us. I love that you help people get through that, help people uncover all of that. Jean, where else can we find you? Where else can we learn more? We'd love to connect with you.
Absolutely what you said, Joshua. Thank you so much. You can connect with me, like you said, on jeaniusmotivation.com. There's a contact me on there. You can connect with me on Facebook under Jeanius Motivation. And I would just love to start that conversation with you. You can contact me 937-559-8848. You can text me. You can call me. There's not machines answering. It's me. And you can contact me by text if you don't want to talk. You know, just send me a line and say, hey, I need you. And I'm happy to help. You can fill out the form on my website, and it's the same thing. I'm going to love you and want to help you and want to get you through it. And even if you're a business and you have a whole group of people that need that path and need to understand about positive leadership, pulling your leaders together and creating a great workspace and great mental health in the workspace, you can reach me at jeaniusmotivation.com.
Jeaniusmotivation.com is the website. Go check out Jean also in all those other socials that she is up on. Jean, I'm happy. I'm very honored that we got on here, that I met you, that you joined us in this episode and this show today. Jean, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you, Joshua. I love being here. I look forward to talking to you again. I appreciate you reaching out. And to all your listeners, thank you so much for having me in your home today.
To all our audience and listeners out there, of course, thank you so much for watching the episode. I hope this genius resonated with you and you are inspired to find your own genius. Thank you for watching the episode. Hope you guys enjoyed this one, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.
All right, so here's the thing. We try to get a little bit better every day, but we can't do it without you. So if you like the video, make sure to like and subscribe below. And if you have any comments, just leave them in the space under.